right. What's up, everybody? Let's add our friend here. Let's see. Here we go. How are you, Roxy? Awesome. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. All right. How we doing, everyone?
Hey,
Welcome,
hey,
Roxy.
how are? Hey.
Welcome. I'm a minute late, so I'm a little bit mad at myself, but 1 minute's not too bad, I guess.
On.
How are you, Roxy?
I'm good. Okay, I have a question. These glasses or these glasses? Which ones?
I'm going to lean towards these. I don't know. There's something about them.
Okay, I see a fuzz. Okay, that's great. But when I have to read something, then I'll put on the black ones. I thought they looked more librarian. So, uh, look at back there. That is Matilda the Hun. Can you see that?
Oh wow, yeah. How cool
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah,
Nice.
I guess a fan actually drew that, so I had to put that behind me. But I realized all you see are boobs, so I just kind of wanted, you know.
Hey, listen.
Yes.
There's no problem here. I'm sure the fans will love
Okay. So, excuse Matilda the Hun's boobs. Okay.
it. Well, listen. Just for those that have just joined in, welcome. I'm Vinny from South Philly, and today we have Roxy Astor, famous from Glow. I'm sure many of you recall the wonderful, gorgeous ladies of wrestling, as well as our beautiful guest, Roxy Astor. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I was very when somebody from Philadelphia reached out to me, I was like, yeah, I got to do this. This sounds like and then I started looking at all your little posts. I'm like, this looks like a fun interview. I definitely do this. Okay. And you see how quick I answered back. It
You
was
did, and
like,
I appreciate that very much.
yeah. So I'm excited to be here and you're probably tired and
No,
I'm not. So,
no. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I have a little trick here. See, you see this right here? I got a little cup of coffee. I'm the Bellagio. They're not a sponsor yet. You never know, but I'm drinking some coffee in their mug.
boy, I'd love them to be a sponsor for you. So if they are, I'll drink some of that coffee because I love coffee.
Oh yeah, I forget. I can't. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. By the way, I'm just reading some comments. Thank you, Carol. It's very sweet. But again, folks, listen. We're going to take some questions maybe a little bit later on. But in the meantime, please try to just enjoy the interview. Roxy, before we get into it though, where can people find you in case they tune out? Where can they find you?
Okay, they can find me on Instagram, roxy.astor, and on Facebook. Promoting a lot of things on Facebook. And at the end, I've got kind of a really cool surprise for everybody that just happened to be on this day that we release something. So you're going to be the first guy, and so are your friends and fans that are going to hear about it. So I'm very excited about that. So I prefer Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome, awesome. Glow 80s, how are you? By the way, we have Glow 80s tribute.
Hi,
So,
Chloe.
well, you're in the right
Yeah.
place because we have one of Glow's very best here, Roxy Astor. So, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, by the way, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Vinny Presents, and that's with a Y. With no further ado, let's jump in. Roxy again. So, now I remember watching Glow, and I enjoyed it as a kid, and just all wrestling in general. But I really loved what I have to say. I love are the all the characters and all the storylines and all just the athleticism. It was a really good show. I really enjoyed it. But tell us how you got involved with it.
Uh, well, probably not the normal way that somebody would, because I think most people they were either actresses or they wanted to be a wrestler. Or, I was living in Auburn, Washington, a very small little town as a hairdresser. And my story is, I watched Flashdance and I thought I was going to be that girl and go weld and, be that hot, badass girl. And so I decided to go to LA and go chase the dream. Maybe not in a warehouse and maybe not weld, but I'll figure it out. So I was watching WWF at the time. And I just noticed, the women were they were walking out the guys. They were kind of standing behind the guys because I had my favorite, Randy Macho
Yeah.
Man. That was my guy. I
He
love
was great.
Randy. And I would see Elizabeth, and then I started seeing other females, but they were always, on the sideline, and then all of a sudden this show popped up called Glow, and just the name alone was just kind of okay, I'll just watch it, and I got hooked. So I was actually a fan of Glow. I was especially a fan of Matilda the Hunt. I have never seen anybody so large and so scary and just captivating along with Mount Fiji that I was like, maybe one day I could do this. And Matilda the Hun is pretty intimidating, and Mountain Fiji with her hoy, she was always that. You remember that,
Yes,
right?
I do.
She
Yep.
had a famous little tika 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 tika. Yeah, so she had her fun skits, but I never ran into Matilda because she was in the pilot and the other season. I was in season 3 and 4. So back up, Roxy. So I was watching TV, and it said, "Do you want to be a glow girl?" And at the time, I guess there was probably, from what I heard, like 3,500 girls that were auditioning. And I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll try it. And then I sent in a picture, bent over a motorcycle. Don't go there, people. Don't go there. With a hand like this, with a black leather skirt on. And I'm like, well, that doesn't grab their attention. And I'm like, I'm gonna be a bad girl. So I got an audition for the following week, and that's when I met Matt Zimber. He was the director, and Rickless, who owned the Riviera. So it was just a matter of just going in, and I have never acted, uh, not nothing to do with wrestling, just nothing. But one thing I do have is, you know what, you got to try something. If you don't try it, you'll never know. So I didn't, I just, if I made it, I made it. But I really felt like I had to be there. So I went there, went home, and it was like maybe 3 days later, I got the phone call. If you can get there basically on our dime, our money, we didn't get a flight. If you can get yourself there at this time, you have a chance. So imagine driving up, and I have to say, I had the coolest car there. I had a 924 Porsche
Nice.
with a salvage title, but I had a 924 Porsche.
That's okay.
And yeah, well, I didn't know that till after I got it repoed. So I'm driving up, and I'm seeing all these girls like green mohawks, and I think I met Beastie, Sunny, the California girl. I didn't know that was her at the time, but beautiful women, just gorgeous, and then all walks of life. And I think that was the uniqueness about Glow, was that it was all shapes and sizes. And I remember running into Sally, the farmer's daughter, and looking at her and going, I don't have a chance. I mean, this girl is gorgeous. And, I had, my favorites, but, I have to say Matilda was my favorite. And, I like some of the bad girls, but I got to wrestle some of the bad girls. And we know who that is, Hollywood. She was a
Yeah.
tough opponent, but my favorite tough opponent was Godiva. Godiva and I, we had some very, very mean matches. We got into a match where there was some real hair pulling and there was some real fist fighting, and we really went for it. So if you think it's fake, it's not.
I'm sure with some people it was a little bit more real than people imagined.
Well, I'll tell you a story that I like to tell, and then you'll probably go back and visit this match. It's where it was run for the Rubies, and I was fighting Cheyenne Cher, and for some reason I wasn't going to win, and I actually got knocked out
Oh,
in that match. And if you look at my face, you'll see like it's a 3/4 kick. I'm out
wow.
cold. And I was told by Steve Blanche, the writer, that they didn't know if they were going to be able to finish the match. So I think I did a Rocky moment, and I'm just like getting up, and just I knew I had to finish because this was live, and this was a run for the Rubies. So it was a very, very important match. And I remember being so mad at Cheyenne Cher. Something kicked in, and you could see my face. You can see how mad I was. And I just ended up, going through, did it. And then Godiva came out. Of course, she ruined everything. And then afterwards, you could see we were actually fighting. Like she was in the line of fire and she was gonna, or I was going to try to kick her ass. and we're and we're really, and I'm like grabbing her and she's kind of whispering like, what are you doing? Like, and I couldn't stop. I was just like, because something just set off. I was just, I don't know what happened. It just, but it looked good though after I saw it. It looked good. So now you got to go back and watch that match.
And
So
that
that was the
was
piece. Cheyenne Share.
right. It was. I'm sorry. The name of the tour, was it a tournament or was a
Yes, yeah, for the Glow
that's it.
Crown. For the Glow, I was
Well, you bring out you bring it.
there. Hmm?
Sorry to interrupt you. I was saying you bringing back a lot of memories. I remember the crown. Yeah, the glow crown. That's right. We have a
Yeah.
lot of
Oh,
fans here saying hello to you. By the way, the Louvre
okay.
Bay,
Wait,
real brimstone.
can
We
I
got some people saying hi to you.
say hi to them? Hi, hi. Okay, and sorry if I can't read 100%, but because of Vinny, he said these glasses look better, but I see less. So, Vinny, this is your
Okay,
fault. So I will say hi
hey,
to
no, please. Well, let's make a sacrifice, and if you want to change the glasses, you can. Okay, we'll let that happen.
them. Okay, you can see I had blue eyes. I put on a little glitter for you guys tonight.
Well,
Okay,
you
this
know, I think a lot of us were expecting your hair to be all up with the glitter. You know, the big poof. You know.
yeah, okay, you do it 8 o'clock at night, okay? I did a little bit of glitter, okay, just for your friends and for you. Wait, look at this green
I,
jacket.
I
Look.
like it.
I did that.
Nice,
Okay, I put that on for you. So
nice, very nice.
yeah,
Very nice
sorry.
emerald color. I'm liking it. That
Okay.
I had to say too.
Mhm.
It really it really wasn't on for many years, and which is regrettable because it was a really good show.
Yeah.
How many years did it actually run?
Ran for 4 seasons, and I feel like, because you kind of think I actually left early because I was pregnant. I was having a baby. And but then I hear that everybody they went to Hawaii, they went Puerto Rico and this, and I'm like, oh, I missed out on that. But I have a son now who's 34. That was great. But I was also going to have a baby and come back and do the movie, which would have been almost like a Spice Girls meets. Remember when the Spice Girls had their movie, how campy and great it was? We were going to do a movie. So I thought I'd get back into shape and go back into to the movie. And then it was like gone. It was just completely gone. So, we had, no internet, no way to really get a hold of anybody. And so I think we all just kind of, waited for that phone call and waited. And it just never happened. But I got a phone call. I think I was maybe 8 weeks pregnant, and I think you'll appreciate this. I finally got my little skit. I waited so long. Tiffany Mellon had her little skit. Godiva, with all the bare facts, had her skit. I got a skit. So, so Matt Zimber maybe thought it was just, very, he kind of had a sick sense of humor. Thought, you know what, I'll give her skit. Now she's 8 weeks pregnant, and I will have her run around a building. And I was called Roxy, and I had like a Rocky character. So I was boxing, and he made me run around and playing this really, if you can see this video, is just horrible. And then I'm like crawling on the ground, and I want to puke. I'm just like, Matt, I'm like, I'm sick, I'm pregnant, I'm not taking a bump. Crawl, Roxy, crawl.
Jeez, God. Talk about you guys really earned your keep over there.
You guys have no idea. That will be the book. That will be the story.
Well, that's a good segue into now. Do you have anything that you want to maybe tell our guests about that? Maybe you can that's on sale or something that you have out there already.
Well, okay. Remember how I was telling you? First of all, Matilda Hunt. The funny thing is, she was my favorite. We ended up becoming best friends. And I was with her for like the last maybe 4 or 5, no, I think 8 years of her life, because we did the Afterglow fan party. And Robert Wynn and he used to go visit her when she was in the hospital. We visited her, I think, every month. I would drive 2 hours. She didn't have a lot of people out there, so I brought Robert in to go visit her. So I got to know her. Some of her items are archived in Harvard.
Wow.
She was a really, yeah, I mean, she did Spaceballs. She was a bearded lady, and she ended up becoming my best friend. And in fact, I read her eulogy at her
Wow.
funeral, which took it as an honor. And Robert Wynn, who is with me, he actually put on the memorial. And Sunny, the California girl, she came. And we also, but I have to say, we also lost Angel from Glow, who I dearly, dearly loved. That was like a double hit because it was Matilda and then it was Angel. And so the last Afterglow cruise that I did, you could see this, that was basically a dedication to Angel, who had passed away. And we did a pub crawl in honor of Angel. And I let her husband and Debbie, I got to call her Dallas. Can't call her Debbie Dallas. She gets mad. Dallas.
You're really bringing back memories
Yeah,
now.
I'm sorry. Wrong memories. So Dallas, we just dedicated it to Angel. And I'm telling you, we tore up that ship. we walked by this wine tasting group and they go, "Can they shut up?" And I said, "No." Cheers. And down another shot, but that was all in honor of Angel from Glow, who we loved, and Matilda. So the play is really dedicated. It's a passion project. I'm not going to follow the rules of theater. I'm sorry, I'm doing Roxy's rules, which is you will have fun, you will love the stories, and you will love it. But there's something I want to talk about that I've been working on with my friend and collaborator, David Navarro. No, not that David Navarro, but David Navarro, who's okay. But this was just released today.
Oh, wow.
And it's called UFO Phil. It's a web series. I don't know if you're into aliens, if you believe.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm very open-minded these days.
Okay, are you seeing everything that's going on? There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, so UFO Phil, he was on the Gong Show, and he's just very, very eccentric, kind of a different guy. So if you Google him, you will see videos going back 20 years, and it's what we're doing is like a 10 episode, like a web series. And the cool thing is, okay, it's going to be directed by Dave Navarro. And I'm sorry, I'm reading off this because I really want to. The thing is, it's released today. It's a Seed and Spark. It's not a Kickstarter, so we're doing
I've
that.
heard of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard of
so
it.
we're doing that. And David, he's an incredible. So it's co-written by David and Eric Huffman, who's been in a lot. But David Navarro was also, he did the lighting for Lucha Underground, which, you know, Lucha Underground,
I do.
the wrestling show.
Yep.
One of my favorite shows, and I think the lighting was probably my favorite that I've ever seen in a wrestling show. And it kind of brought that darkness, and then that's when I got kind of intrigued. But he also was a lighting director for Sports Science and History's Greatest Heights, and he's done a lot. He's been in the business for a long, long time. But I want to tell you who's actually going to be in this, which is, hold on, let's see. This is a very cool little group here. Okay. So, and you might have you heard of her name is Jessica Sugar, and I hope I'm saying it right. Kuiper, Kiper. She was on the Gilmore Girls and Weeds, and she was on Survivor. I think she might have come in second place on Survivor. So she's a part of this, along with let me see if her name's right. Ari Selly, if I'm saying it right. She was on the Queen of the South. Machete, remember Machete?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
American Beauty and My Rosy Life, and then Dave Navarro co-wrote that show. So she's a part of this web series. And we have Madeline Wade, who was in Legally Blonde 2, Las Vegas, Bloodcraft, and Vegan, another movie that David shot. He has shot so many movies. So as of today, it is released today. And are you the one that picked the day for this interview?
I think so. Yeah.
See, so I had no idea that it was actually going to drop today. So, but also too, I want people to know, with Matilda, when I went in to go visit her, Matilda was always asking for somebody to write about her life. and there's not too many people that I would trust with her story. Now, she had a book out called Glamazon, My Life of Glitter, Guts, and Glory. Incredible, incredible story. And she asked Dave Navarro if he could write a movie about her. So, and that's what Dave's doing. So we were right in the middle of everything, and then COVID hit, and we couldn't go back. Dave would go there and play the music, and she absolutely fell in love with Dave, and it was just, he's the guy to do the movie. And so we're gonna have a movie about Matilda the Hun.
Wow,
Now, how?
that's fantastic.
Yeah. And so far, the working title is called Hun, which I love because it's just Hun. So, and if you know anything about Matilda, do you anything?
I don't know much beyond what her performance on TV.
Oh my God, Night Court. She was, she had a whole nother little life out there.
Yeah, I know she was an actress as well.
She
yeah.
was an actress, yeah, but she had she was the first sex phone operator. Just want to let you know that.
Oh my God, really?
Surprise.
Uh-huh. See, folks, you get all kinds of revelations here on our interviews.
Yeah, well, and I'm going to tell you something, though. She was very proud of what she did. I think the thing that was that meant a lot to me was when I did the play, and it was with Christopher Carver, who won for the best director of the decade in Los Angeles. And I had 5 of the original Glow Girls, which was MTV. I had Sunny, the California girl, who's also my best friend. And Dallas, who actually learned her lines in a week.
Wow.
In a week. And then Matilda, we didn't know she was sick during that time. And she just wanted to push through. And it was very funny because Matt Simber was in the front, and he's the director of Glow. And then she would have to read a line, and all of a sudden you hear Matilda, that bastard, and she would just go off script.
That's funny.
So what you saw was real, because I'm not really an actress, and like an actress. Like, I don't have a resume. I don't go out on auditions. I will, show up. Oh, another thing too, I want to say with events, I will show up anywhere as Roxy Astor to save dogs, to save cats, to save animals. You can see me on my Instagram. I am obsessed with saving dogs and helping the shelters. Their overflow, it's crazy everywhere right now. And so I'll do like fundraisers, and I have a group called the Red Alert Rescue Ladies, and we actually go in and save dogs that are close to being euthanized. That is something that's very, very dear to me. And so I'm sorry if sometimes you go on my page and you want to see a lot of wrestling stuff, but I showed you the Sylvester Stallone one, right? Where he thought we were pole dancers and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you like that?
You said that. I couldn't believe it. That was very insensitive.
I loved it. You know what? Honestly, being in Glow, I can laugh at myself. I can totally laugh at myself. So I know I totally took over this interview. Is there anything you wanted to ask me?
No, I'm glad you did, because you know what? That's what the guests are here for. They're here for you. They get enough of me all the time. You see.
Yeah. Well, I have okay, I can tell you that when I actually got my name Roxy, when I actually got the name where it was, this is who you are, this is who you are. So I was sitting next to, it was Tiffany Mellon. Oh my God, that was her porn name. I'm sorry. Tiffany Mellon.
We're going to get so many good reels out of this, I'm telling you.
Okay. So Tiffany Mellon, who turned out to be Tiffany Million. Okay, we got that right. I already told you that. So we were sitting there, and I'm thinking, think bad. I'm going to be a bad girl. Okay. And then all of a sudden, Matt Zimmer goes, you are Roxy Astor, one of the Park Avenue knockouts, and you're rich. And all I kept thinking, I have like $5 in my pocket. How am I going to play rich? Like, what do I do? Like, who do I turn to? And so I was named after the Astor family. So I read a book, and I had to improvise. I had no clue. And then I had to write a check, like in front of everybody during a match. And I'm writing a $10,000 check, and I'm thinking, what do I do here?
I wish I could keep it, right? You're thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had a nice car, but I was broke maybe from that car. So when I finally got my name, I was upset. I was happy that I made it. I think I cried though. And Nanishka, Nanishka, the Russian.
I remember that. Wow.
Colonel
Yeah, I haven't heard
Nanishka,
that name in a
she
while.
was one of my trainers.
Mm,
She was hard, but she was really a great wrestler. And her mom did the costumes.
wow.
So I think if you ever say to a director, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. He does the opposite. So I've learned don't do that. don't tell them what to say because you're going to just do opposite. And they brought out my outfit. And I think it was this big, Vinny. My outfit was that big.
Jeez.
And this was the 80s. So I looked
Wow.
at it, I go, there's no way I'm getting on TV in that thing. And the crotches back then in the 80s were like
Yeah.
this and like long, and I'm like stretching it and I'm like pulling it. And so I started asking people like, how do they keep everything in? I don't know if this is TMI for you guys, but you wanted everything in. So I wore about 3 pairs of tights.
Yeah. I was gonna say
And
you probably had to wear a lot of tights. Yeah.
I did. I am sure some girls didn't, but I stacked upon stacked, and I was wearing tights because I wanted to feel, I wanted everything kind of sucked in, and thank God. And one thing Matt Simber did tell me, he said, Roxy, your ass is big. If you don't start running, you're going to look back 20 years and you're going to go, why wasn't I working out? So I took everything as, yeah, I'll show you. And then I started running, and then I had some great little shots. There's some good shots, and Glide. I don't know if you remember those. With the camera angle, like right there on the turnbuckle. And
Yeah.
yeah, the camera guys got right there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
The
do
very
remember
thing,
now that the cameramen were like well trained. I think.
I think I think they took a class in porn. What angles to get?
It's a shame. I mean, I don't even know if we could even do this in this day and age. The stuff that they used to do.
No, but you know what? I look back, and that's why honestly I'm glad that Glow had only 4 seasons, because I feel like it was there. It made its statement, and that was it. And from what I heard, that Vince McMahon wanted to buy Glow. Now I don't know if he wanted to buy Glow to shut it down or to turn it into something else, but I think it was to probably shut it down. Our ratings were beating WWF at the time. We were on Card Sharks. We
Wow.
were uh, Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael, Married with Children. We were everywhere. I mean, Glow was like taking over. And then to have it so big and just so like out there. And I know you remember that. And then I found out we were on at, like 11 o'clock in the morning. And then it was 10 o'clock at night. And then it was 2. And then it was gone. It was gone. And that's basically what the play was about. The Afterglow 80s musical. That's what that was
Yeah.
about. What happened during that. And my daughter played me as a younger version of Roxy.
Wow. No
Which
kidding.
was very cool. She was good. So she got to play the scene of when Roxy got her hair extensions back in the 80s and went into Compton to get her extensions. And I came out with hair. Can you see my hand out like that? The frizz. And so we got to drive Matt Simber's Maserati to Compton. And we thought we were all that, driving to Compton with our extensions, driving out. We went to Beverly Hills. We had the most hideous hair ever. When we got back, Tiffany cut all of hers off. And I'm like curling mine, melting it, curling, melting.
Oh wow.
So I have a few pictures of my extensions, and I'm like, that's it. These things got to go.
I wonder if Giuseppe Franco was around back then. Isn't that the guy in Beverly Hills, the big hairstylist?
Oh,
I don't think
yeah.
he was around back
Well,
then.
I don't think Glow would have really paid. I think, making $350 a week. Me personally, yeah, that's what I made. I don't think they would have sprung for him.
Well, listen, just to interrupt you for 1 second, I just want to welcome anybody who's watching. If you just tuned in, We are speaking with the wonderful, beautiful veteran of Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, Roxy Astor, and she's given us some really good insight. We're going to record this, so hopefully we can transmit this through YouTube on Vinny Presents, my YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And please make sure you're following Roxy on her page as well. And with that being said, we're going to take some questions shortly, so just hang in there and please watch for a few more minutes as we go into a little bit more of her life and her experiences, and then we'll take some questions. So Roxy, now this brings us to now. So what's going on now? I know you just mentioned a few projects that you have going on, and big kudos for the beautiful work you do with the animals, because that's always something that is very, very it really shows the true heart of someone.
So I have to say hi to at least a fan. So thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, let's scroll back. There's so many beautiful people. Stromboli Balls.
I'm seeing nice things, and I know sometimes I talk a lot and all that, but I get very excited to talk about Glow and about things I'm doing, and I love fans. I adore the fans.
Absolutely, and thank you to everyone. Please, I'll tell you what. If you want, why don't we take it? If anybody has a few comments or wants or has any questions, why don't you go ahead, shoot them over, and then we'll see what we could do. Again, thank you, everyone. Who we got? Franco, what's up? What's up, everybody? I've been waving to people, so at least I'm giving you some sort of communication. But if you have any questions, shoot them out there. Glowy's tributes there. Thank you. Okay. All right. Well, listen, we'll continue speaking, and then if you have a question, we won't interrupt Roxy, but we'll fit it in. So, tell us what's going on now. What's going on? What are you looking towards in the near future? Anything? I mean, you mentioned some of the projects, which is great with Hun, and that's you're making me want to go back and watch some of these old episodes now.
Okay, you got to watch the one with Dementia. I love that one. Okay, the story behind Dementia and I is the character Dementia.
The name I can't picture her face.
She had the axe and she didn't talk, and she had the crazy look, and then it was like after I think one season maybe or two seasons they had to take her name off because really they use the word dementia. I mean, Glow got away with a lot of stuff, they really did. So, and I think there was also another, like a dark princess, and the churches would call up and say, take that off. And they took the Princess of Darkness, and then they took her character away. So Glow, I think they kind of pushed the envelope a little until they couldn't push it. And I think some of the networks were, sorry, we're not going to put you on if you don't do this. So I think Matt would just kind of keep pushing, which made it made Glow unique. But the funny story with Dementia, that was probably one of my favorite matches, was because I always wanted to be a bad girl. So I wrote that match, and Dementia didn't talk. So I had to act like her. She acted like me. And I always say that she played a better Roxy than I did. She was so good. And Big Bad Mama put us in a trance. And then we kind of did the whole voodoo thing. And then when we snapped out of it, I look at it, I laugh at it every time. I played it on one of the cruises, and I think Tina Ferrari was there. She laughed at it. She thought it was great. Ashley was on the cruise too. And I don't think they've ever seen that match, and they absolutely loved it. So it was my only time I got to play a bad girl, but I'm kind of considered a good bad girl. I kind of like that. So I wasn't really goody, but I wasn't bad. What do they call it? A heel, and they call it a face, right? You know terminology,
baby,
yeah. So
baby face, right? That's
yeah. Or I like playing a heel. Like you get away with a lot more. Like Godiva got a horse. Hollywood got a motorcycle. I got a butler. Well, I guess I can't complain that much, right? Okay, I got a butler.
At least you got something,
I got something.
So now it sounds like, everybody, if I'm guessing right here, it sounds like everyone really did it because they enjoyed it. It wasn't for the money. It sounds like there really wasn't much money to be given out, or they didn't make a whole lot. But it was the athleticism and the fun and the entertainment aspect of it. It sounds like that was really what I think was the motivating factor, it sounds like, for a lot of these people.
You know what? I kind of thought that, okay, when because my whole thing is like in high school, I was not popular. I tried to fit in. I just never fit in anywhere. I couldn't find my people. I just didn't fit in. So I became a hairdresser and went to school. And it was just, to go from being absolutely nobody, like a nothing, like nobody knew who you were, to being on TV and being thrown into that. I'm telling you, it was like a drug. It was like, Roxy, oh my, we were on tour and they're like shaking the bus and they're just like, oh my God. And I'm like, wait, who's here? Oh, me. and and it was just like to be like that. And but then, you know what, the sad thing about it was when Glow was over, a lot of these girls did not have a backup. I was a hairdresser. I went to the Seattle Art Institute. I was ended up becoming a clothes designer and selling to like Kris Jenner and Neiman Marcus and
Nice.
everything. I always had something to fall back on. In fact, I even did a lot of the hair for Glow. I gave Beastie her mohawk in my kitchen.
Who was it?
I did Beastie, the Road Warrior. I gave her
Oh wow, yeah,
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 I did it.
yeah.
I'm the
I
guilty
used to
one.
love the Road Warriors.
Yeah, I'm doing something in St. Louis with Beastie. Sunny got this together. So it's going to be Beastie, Sunny the California Girl, and myself. I think Ashley Cartier is going. I also want to give a shout out for Sunny for getting the Glow Girls to get the CAC award. She got the girls together to get the first ever group from the CAC. And last CAC, she's been fighting cancer. And she's been going through a lot for the last 2 years, and she's very strong. And I drove her to one of her her appointments. It's hard to see her go through this, but I'm telling you, she's one of the strongest people that I know, and she's fighting it. And she won an award. And sorry, Sunny, if I forgot, but it's something that, like a she's a fighter. We had CM Punk at our table next door, and Sunny the California Girl got a standing ovation.
Nice.
So, and that's CM Punk, that's Mickey James, that's everybody standing up for
Yeah.
Sunny. So yeah, and she keeps fighting, and she's out there, and in fact she's gonna be also in this UFO Phil series, so
Very
you're
cool.
gonna have two Glow Girls in it. So anything that I can do, I pull her in, and vice versa. We do the same thing. So,
Well,
but
thank you for the prayers. About we have some of our guests with the prayers. Thank you. Let's
thank
obviously
you.
keep her in our prayers.
Yeah, I'm sure Sunny will appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I still, I mean, I understand how business works, and unfortunately, not everything lasts for too long. In fact, good things don't last very long. But can you speak about how and why it came to an end? Why did Glow eventually close up shop?
Well, what I think, you're going to hear like so many different endings, but from what I think, okay, Rickless, who owned the Riviera, he had like a little group of girls that, he was rich. He was kind of paying on the side. Um, he got caught messing with maybe a few of the Glow Girls, maybe one. Got caught. Pia Zadora. It was just kind of like it's the Glow show or it's me. And I'm sorry, when you're married and you got kids and you're a billionaire, it's what are you gonna do? So that's a story I heard. And then, talking to Matt Zimber, he says he just wasn't interested anymore. I think you're going to have different endings, but this is the one I keep hearing. So it could be, how you tell somebody like something, a secret, and then you go and tell 10 other people, and then it changes.
Whispering down the lane.
Right, where it ends up being something totally different. But that is what I have remembered I'm going to say ready for this, over 38 years. That is what I remember.
Well, and I'll say something now that may be unpopular, but I mean, I enjoyed wrestling when it was colorful, a lot of vibrant colors, not so dark.
Mm-hmm.
I could say the same about comic books too, really. But wrestling, I remember like in the 80s, it seemed like everything was better. But I remember watching even men's wrestling and WWF, NWA, whatever. And they were colorful characters. Then everything became like, now, I don't know, something happened, I guess, in the 90s and into the 2000s where, in my opinion, very dark, just sinister, just not fun. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but
No, I feel the exact same way. And I think, like even talking to my daughter, we were watching something because she used to watch wrestling with me. And she's like, wrestling was so different. It was so much fun. It was just, I watched like The Rock and Mick Foley, when that was a really great match with Mick Foley, and he had his kids in the audience and they were crying. And then, you had Jake the Snake, and it's just, Randy, and just even, the way they spoke, and it was so different. And Mean Gene, he was great. When I watch it now, I actually go to the TV and I go, who's that? And I feel like they get somebody, they build the character, take it away from you. I'll tell you, somebody I really liked, and I liked how they were building that character, was was it Bry Wait, Bry, the guy who did who recently passed away.
I'm
And
I'm
like
drawing a
with
blank.
family, and he's 36 years old. I think it's Bry Wait. If anybody can say who it was, he was only 36 years old. And they had a whole gimmick going that when he came out and he spoke, and everybody put their lighters or their phones. I think the lighters were back in the 80s, their phones. And I felt like it was like that 80s vibe again. It was like that 90s vibe. Do you remember when WCW invaded?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you not love
Yeah,
that?
it was interesting. Good crossover. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then it got very, I feel like for the women, it got very too sexual. It
There
was
you go. Franco just commented Bray Wyatt.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. And I don't know if you feel the same way, but I just was so wrapped up into watching him every week. And then they brought in, I forgot who see, and that's just it. I forget. I can tell you who the older guys are, like Mick Foley and even The Rock way back then. And just everything has changed. It's just not, I feel like it's also very corporate. I also feel like I'm watching AEW and I'm looking at WWE. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, why is this guy? Wait, he was on AEW. Why is he over at WWE? Now, when Sunny was getting her award, CM Punk was right next to us at our table. And then the news broke out that he was getting fired. And I kept going, that is such a work. Oh my God, they built this up. And everybody was so mad. And I'm like, this is a work. This is such a work. And people were just really getting mad. And sure enough, there was CM Punk. And I'm like, just watch. AJ, his wife, is going to show up WWE. Just watch. They just go back and forth. It's like, okay, I'll borrow you. It's just not, it's a little too corporate. I can't get wrapped. And if I feel like I get into the characters, they're gone. They're taken away.
Well,
Where with Glow, the characters stayed. They stayed, like Hollywood was 1 through 4. Mount Fiji was 1 through 4. So the girls that really stayed in, a lot of the people, they fell in love with them because they got to know the characters. We don't have time to know the characters. That's how I feel. So I totally agree with you on this. I'm not as into wrestling as I was. They have WOW, which is David McLean's. He's got the female wrestling that looks like Glow. And I think people are kind of happy because that's the closest thing to Glow that you're going to get. And it's all colorful and pretty. And so if you want to watch WOW, you might like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't really watched wrestling in years, a number of years, but I think it would be better served if they took a little bit of a page out of the 80s and looked at what worked then and looked at, I mean, again, so many color, like Captain Lou Albano and Andre the Giant. And again, I'm referring to, but storylines were good too. The storylines were good. And I not to take anything away from like The Undertaker, fantastic wrestler or whatever, but then the dark, like kind of overtones began, and then it probably didn't help. I mean, I have no horse in a race, so I guess I could
Yeah.
talk freely. I don't expect you to, but I mean, it didn't help that I think that Vince McMahon methodically pretty much ended the territories by just consolidating wrestling into one umbrella, or monopolizing the wrestling industry. I think wrestling was better served when everybody had their own independent little
Can
thing
we
in their
say hi
territories.
to John Sparrow? John Sparrow. Hi, John.
Hi, John. Thank you. By the way, those of you that have joined, just joined recently, thank you. We're here obviously with the wonderful Roxy Astor of Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and she's giving us some really, really good information. We're going to go ahead. If you haven't joined us from the beginning, we're going to go ahead and use the recording to put on YouTube later on, and we'll do some clips. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I want to ask you though, did you ever watch Lucha Underground? Because that had really dark undertones, and I think I was very drawn to that. John's the best. He's. Are you still on tour, John? You might know him. You might know this guy. You got a popular guy here.
Well, welcome, John. Thank you. Please
He's a rock
go ahead
star.
and ask.
A rock star.
Yeah, great. Great, John. Yeah.
I met John through 80s then and 80s now, who's a friend of mine. He's got this huge, you gotta follow him. He's out in New York, 80s and 80s now, and he's got everything 80s. He does trivia with you would love him, Vinny. You would absolutely love John. So that's John and John Sparrow.
Nice.
So that's where I am. But back with to Lucha, to me that was like the closest thing going back, and the little vignettes and the storylines, and really the way that Dave Navarro shot, the scenes. And I think I was a fan of Dave's before I even knew him, because I'm like, what is this? And then I went to go watch it live. My friend Robert Samo got me tickets live, and I'm in the audience and I have food poisoning, so I had to keep getting out. So, and then it was gone, and then Lucha Underground was canceled, and I was really disappointed because I was really getting into that, so it's never going to be the same. The 80s it's just not going to be like that. But if you want something close for wrestling that is like Glow, or kind of campy, that has that, WOW is like that. There's another federation out there, UWW, of women that they're building. So I think women are taking over. There's a lot of good female wrestlers out there right now.
Yeah, and it's always a good kind of what can I say? They always seem to have better storylines. They're just more interesting. I don't know. It's something about women's wrestling that you're more compelled because of just the creativity it's behind it, and it just seems like a better product.
Yeah, I don't think it's where it used to be, where it was like sexualized, like how it was back even in WWE. These girls are really, they're good. These women, good wrestlers. I went to the Micromania wrestling show. Billy Blade owns that, and I think there's these two. It was a brother and a sister, and their dad was a wrestler, I think in WWF at the time. I forgot his name. And you're not supposed to say, so I'm gonna say little person. And I'm gonna tell you, I was entertained more than I've been entertained in a long time. You talk about good wrestling. It was over the top. It was great. So I like to go to these indie shows because I like to see these everyday people out there doing their thing, wrestling. It's kind of like be the wrestler,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as far as independent wrestling or independent anything, I think people are more prone to, whether it's independent films, which I want to do a little selfish plug, but we're doing we're shooting our short film in March, and we were just talking about this the other day with my partner Sal. Independent movies, independent wrestling, independent anything to do with independent is starting to make a bigger impact now, and through social media, you're starting to see a lot of people. It's funny. Let me just. I'm kind of getting off track, but let me just say this. Yeah. There were people that I'm friends with that were one time either stars or screenwriters in
Right.
Hollywood that kind of got away from that whole scene, and
Right.
rightfully so.
Right.
And then started going on YouTube, started going on
Right.
TikTok, and then they just created a nice audience for themselves. Now they're getting phone calls from Hollywood. They want to bring them back for. So I guess what I'm getting at is people, and it ties in with the corporate thing.
Right.
People are tired of the same old corporate cookie cutter stuff. They want
Right.
something different, something fresh, something that's really creative from the heart, and that's where you get independent.
Well, and that's why with UFO Phil, the web series, it was kind of one of those things too, where it's been around for a while. And night, Franco
Good
Lopresti.
night, Franco.
Have a great.
Good man, Franco Lopresti.
Yeah,
Thank you, Franco.
that was a tough one to say. Thank you for watching. And so UFO Phil, the web series, that was kind of one of those things that they wanted, Dave and the creator Eric Huffman. They wanted to bring something, of theirs. Not, I think when you do, oh, John Sparrow had to leave. Oh, he's great. Okay. Like whatever you're working on, I don't know if it's a web series, if you're working on a movie, you have more creative control. This is something that I know it's a passion project for Eric and David, but this is something that's going to be done, and it's like a 10 web series, and it's just and the people that want to be in it, I think they're kind of leaning that way, like you said. Like I almost had a show with Afterglow, Life Afterglow. We were right on top with TLC. We were right there, got dropped. Working on I think I told you, working on a docu-series, about Dan the Bionic Man Magnus, my boyfriend who had a heart transplant 3 years ago. And but he was a world champion kickboxer, told not to fight, and he came back with the doctor. It's like a Rocky story, and that's something that Dave Navarro, he's pitching that. So, but these are projects that we've had for a while, and that's why I think to do the web series is kind of to raise the money and to do it. I feel like I'm very excited about doing it. We're not just, we don't have to pitch anything. It's just we have a lot of good people backing us up, and that helps. That helps.
That's pretty much with myself and my partner Salmazada. Like we went out, we said, you know what, we're doing it. Right. We're gonna raise money for this, even though right now it's really tough to raise money. But we raised $25,000, $10 here, $20 there, $1,000 there. We did it, and again through the power of social media. Social media, as I call it, is the new Hollywood. Yeah. In the sense of you can get something done yourself. Mm-hmm. Whatever project you want, right. If you can successfully build an audience, right? And I mean, not everybody can do it, but if you try really hard and you're committed, you can get things done now like never before. Mm-hmm. Vinny from the Bronx, what's up, by the way?
Vinny from the Bronx, I like that. Vinny from the Bronx.
You know why I like it most of all? Because he spells his name just like I spell mine, with a Y, not an I-E.
Kind of like Jenny from the block.
There you go.
That's where I got that.
For those of you just joined us, we're with the gorgeous lady of wrestling herself, Roxy Astor, and she's been so kind and so revealing and telling so many of us some really behind the scenes stuff. Again, we're going to record this. Follow me on Vinny Presents on YouTube. Follow her. Please immediately sign up for her Instagram and make sure you follow her and all of her wonderful projects that are coming up. Yeah, Roxy, I don't know. What else can we talk about?
Phil, landed today. It landed on your show.
What's the name of it? And for those that didn't hear you earlier, what's the name of it?
It is the UFO Phil. It's web series, and it's on Seed and Spark. So I'll be sharing it. I'll tag you in it. You can see it. And like I said, it was just released today. I did not know that. So I know you were saying if you have any projects, well, this is it. So you'll watch and you'll see interviews and fun stuff coming on. So I'm very excited. I get to play. I get to act. Oh my gosh, I get to act. I'm a publicist. Yeah. So I get to act. Who would have thought? But you know what? Once again, we're raising the money. So it's like, you get to do what you want to do, because who's going to go hire me right now? I don't have a resume.
But you know what's funny though? And I wouldn't discount yourself. what happens is when the word gets out and things are successful, then all of a sudden you get bombarded by all these
Yeah.
phone calls and people want to do something with you.
I think so. I mean, if you look at UFO Phil, like I said, I found him like 20 years ago, and then I watched him on the Gong Show, and I'm like, what is this? And it's just very interesting with right now where the world is with
Yeah.
aliens, and I'm like, everything's just kind of lining up, and it might be like that for your project too. Like, but congratulations that you raised the money. And I love hearing that because that gives us hope that we're going to raise money for our project.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing
Thank
yours.
you very much. Thank you. Yeah, so we film in March, and we decided we're going to use this as a short, again, Pasta and
Wait,
Cheese Crew, to mob comedy.
let me see the hat. Let me see. Got it. Okay. Very cool. I got to get one of those.
Yes, they're very well made. But the point is that even as a short film, the whole idea is to get funding for a major
Yeah.
film or a series. The beautiful thing with whatever project is going on out there for anyone is there's a lot of different streaming networks. There's a lot of different venues. There's a lot of different companies that are looking for good content.
Yeah.
And, sometimes they buy content. I'm realizing they're buying content just so somebody else doesn't get it. So there's a competitive thing going on with that. So I think there's plenty of opportunity for anybody who's even semi-creative out there that wants to do something. Just do it.
Yeah. I just feel like, you know what? You kind of put everything into it, and you got to enjoy what you're doing. And I'm enjoying doing this play about Matilda because it's my story about Matilda. Nobody else can direct it. I'm directing it. Robert's directing it. Like I said, I found myself Googling, how many acts do I have? And then I'm like, no, that's really not what I want to do. I'm going to probably go off script. I want to be able to enjoy it and let the audience, feel actually what I went through with it. So I'm very excited about that. And people will get some insight on Matilda the Hun that they never knew. And they'll probably cry and they'll laugh. And the sister is flying out. Matilda the Hun's sister
Nice.
is flying out. And I'm going to have I have her original belt. And it's going to be sad too. I'll probably lose it on stage. Oh, somebody loves Matilda and she would love that. So I wish you could fly out here, butterfly chick.
That's she's wonderful. Thank you very much,
So
Butterfly, for the comment. Thank you.
she knows who Matilda is. Matilda, a legend, and the funniest person. If you know about her, she did something called the Knocker Locker in Butterfly Chick. If you know what that is, Vinny, do you know what that is?
No, but it just sounds pretty fun.
Okay, that exactly. And fans would just come up. So my friend who's doing the play with me, it was at the Afterglow, my first fan party. So she didn't know it, but he's a pastor and a teacher. And she's like, come here, let me give you a knocker locker.
Wait, I think I'm starting to understand what it is. Let me stop there.
Yeah, but you know what? It was all fun, and then I found out that her and Angel did slamograms, and I think Beastie did slamograms where they went to people's houses if you had a birthday, and they would pick up, the party guy, and they would slam him so you could get a Glow girl to go to your house. So some of these girls got really creative after Glow.
I've never heard of that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, look, my daughters love her. Oh, you know what? They would have loved her. She had the biggest heart, and I miss her. She's great.
I mean, it goes without saying, but you can definitely count on my support and my audience's support. I'll be happy to share and support you however I can. Yep.
And vice versa. I will too.
Thank you.
Now that we found each other, we can't let each other go.
That's it. We're friends for life now. You're stuck with me, Roxy Astor.
Yeah, I told you I'm a talker.
All right, we have someone from Rome. La Bottice la Roma. Okay, I think I'm saying that right.
What's the matter?
La Bottice la Roma.
What's the matter, you?
Hello to our friends in Italy. So Italy right now, I don't know what time it is because my phone's plugged in here. I'm going to say it's probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe close to 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, hello to Rome, Italy. Hello. Thanks for joining us. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
So I think that's I guess we should wrap it up, but there could always be a part two, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Me.
But Roxy, you've been a wonderful, wonderful guest. I'm so excited that we made this friendship, and I'm looking forward to all of your projects. And again, you can count on our support. And again, where can everybody find you? Instagram?
Instagram, Roxy.Astor, and if you can, UFO Phil, go under there, because that's where everything's going to pop up on Instagram too, and you can see all the updates, and say Beetlejuice 3 times hello to you. I'm saying hello, okay. Yeah, said Roxy. So there'll be updates, and I'm actually going to get up there and and promote it, and there's just going to be a lot of cool things, and dogs, adopt, don't shop. Adopt, don't shop.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Stop in the shelters. That is such an important thing. And if you can't, just share a post.
It's your friend Lauren, she says.
Hi, Lauren. How are you? Are you from 80s and 80s now? Oh, I want to tell you, Franken Rules, Frankster Rules. He did the Matilda the Hun sketch with the raw meat.
Oh, nice. How you doing, Frankster? Great.
Oh, he's incredible. If you ever need artwork, this guy's incredible. I think he's done all the Glow. Have you done all the Glow Girls? Maybe. But he's an incredible artist. So he did something very, very cool for us for Matilda. So we're thinking about using that maybe for the play. So we'll see. So
that's wonderful.
He's a good person. Maybe you got to do one of Vinny,
Well, listen, make sure we do a very favorable one of me, please.
For that, yeah. Do a very favorable. Say that 10 times.
It says, La Pottici alla Roma. Are you watching the Eagles? No, I'm not watching the Eagles. This time I checked, I think they were losing by 7. Anyway.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the band.
No, the Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you for those that you followed me. Thank you very much. Thank you, Beetlejuice. Thank you very much for that. Make sure you're following Roxy. Anybody that's watching this that's still here, please make sure you're following her and support her and do everything that she says you should do.
Adopt, don't shop. Yes. And just looking forward to it. But I'll be out there. You'll find me. You'll see me. You'll get tired of me.
That's impossible.
But my heart's in the right place. My heart is always in the right place. So
yes,
that's
right.
all.
That's what I used to say when I used to a lot of times when I don't drink really much anymore, but when I used to, that's usually what I'd say. My heart's in the right place.
Wait, hold on a sec. My heart's in the right place.
Okay. Hello. Hatched by Red Wolf. Very good friend of ours here.
You love the Glow show on Netflix. Really quick story. We went backstage. I got his tickets at a WWE pay-per-view. And we did not know. And Matilda the Hun was there, by the way, and people were yelling from the band, yelling, Matilda the Hun. They knew her. We walked in and we saw, who was it? Nia Jax and somebody else, Married to the Miz. And then we walked way in the back and it was the Glow Netflix girls, Allison Brie and the Glow girls meet face to face. And they were like, whoa. And then I called up TMZ because we got a little bit of video. So if you look under TMZ, Allison Brie, starstruck, you're going to see her going, whoa, I couldn't believe I met the Glow girls. I was sweating. And so it was so cool. They were really, really nice. And I know they watched our videos. They learned, they watched a documentary. They're really, really sweet girls. I'm hoping, I don't know why, but I feel like there's going to be a Glow movie. I feel like there's going to be a 4th season. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that something's going to happen with Glow Netflix. I hope something happens. I think the fans are kind of like, let's give them that 4th season that we had. Don't stop it at 3. Let them get their 4th season and make the fans happy.
Absolutely. I hope they hire you as a consultant. If
not, I will watch and throw another Glow Netflix party in their honor.
Nice. Well, let's all hope.
Yes.
All right. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, our guest has been the wonderful Roxy Astor of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, who are eternally gorgeous in my book and always very entertaining. And for those that are not here, a big kiss to the sky for them. And let's keep everyone who's still around in our prayers. And let's continue to follow and support Roxy and all her wonderful efforts, on and off screen, of course. And any last words?
Dedicating this show to Matilda, Angel, and Sunny, the California girl.
Amen.
Those are my
and it's an honor and a
yes.
pleasure. Thanks again, dear. For those of you, again, please make sure you're following her. Vinny Presents on YouTube. Follow me here. Follow me there. Follow me everywhere. Follow her everywhere. Thank you again, and I'm sure we'll get you back on. Thank you for your time so much, Roxy.
All right. Nice to meet you, and it was great talking to you this week. I had fun.
You too. You too.
I
Absolutely.
look
We'll
forward
catch up soon.
to it.
Me too. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Ciao, everybody. Bye-bye.